we have your weekend tech sales. Welcome back to the channel. So this weekend, we have your Memorial Day tech sales. And before I get into that, I just want to thank everyone that served in the military, and especially people that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you for your service and all those people. So we want to think about them this weekend. Now, I have about, I think, 45 different tech sales right now because obviously tech does go on sale over these weekends, these kind of holiday weekends. So we're going to go through about 45 different tech sales. I'm just going to rifle through all of them because it's a lot of them to go through. And I did this a couple weeks ago. It seemed like I got some good traction and people wanted to see some more of it. So let's dive in. What did I find? They're not as good as I thought, but we got some sales. Oh yeah, and one last thing. These are in no particular order. We're going to start with the one sitting right here. So if you look at my screen over here, it's the Apple 11-inch. This is the 11th generation, the A16 chip here. This thing's incredible. So if you look over, it's $299 right now. That's the low price alert for sure. You can see here 14% off by Apple. That's not a bad price if you think about it. I mean, you can't complain. It's $50 off. It just came out, right? So there's a number one deal there. Let's keep moving here. So what do we have next? Actually, I just wanted to throw this in really quickly. This is on sale too right now. 27% off on this case right here. So if you're going to pick up that, pick up this right here. Pick up this case right here. They have all different colors. Really good ratings here. 4.6 out of 5, and it's only less than $10 right now for a case. Comes with a protective shell that goes around it. Plus, you get this kind of case and stand in there as well. So you can't complain for under $10. I mean, I don't know how these places make this stuff and ship it over. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Okay, number 3 is kind of my headphone choice instead of getting the Apple ones, the ones that are like almost $500. Right over here, these are going to be from Sony. If you want something that's really high quality, the Bose Quiet Comfort Bluetooth headphones, these are the ones you want to get. Right now, they're at 34% off, usually $350, $229, so perfect deal there if you want to pick that up. I mean, you can never go wrong with those. We're going to get into some TVs now, and I got a couple in a row here. I think these are the only ones that kind of lump together. I have a TV at the end that's a good deal too. But I got some crazy deals here if you're looking for some big screens and stuff for really cheap. First one's right here, Insignia. I know this is kind of a Best Buy kind of brand, but 65-inch F50. It's not going to be the best TV ever, right? But 65-inch, $299. It's 33% off right now. Under $300 for a 65-inch 4K TV with Alexa built into it, so you can get all your different shows and stuff like that. It's perfect, right? I mean, basement TV, whatever you want to call it, you can't go wrong. Next TV is right over here, and I wanted to show this to you. So this is the Hisense 65-inch U6 series, and you can see it's the 65 U6N, right? $499. Now this is only 6% off. It's usually $529, but this is really on a super sale. And the reason I wanted to show this because it's only 6% off is because this is actually a really highly rated TV. You can see it here, $499. So you're saying, well, how it's Hisense? Well, first of all, the model right after it right here, Hisense, it got the best lower mid-range TV here at 65-inch on Hisense. Now this is the next model than the one I'm showing you. It's a newer model, but the old model is very similar in ratings. And in fact, if we go in here, we can look at, this is the actual model that I'm talking about. You can see the mixed usage right here. This is a site called RTings. It's basically one of the top sites for rating TVs and stuff. Anytime you get this green color with the 7.6 here, it's a great TV. So you can't go wrong there, especially for, what is that, $499 for a 65-inch that's actually highly rated. Pretty good. Okay, we got a couple more TVs right over here. Here's the LG UQ7590. I wanted to show this to you. It's not the highest rated TV ever, but it's 86 inches. 86 inches. Now it's down to $796. What was it? $1,300 before, almost 40% off, 39% off, lowest in 30 days. So this is a great, basement TV or something. If you're not like a complete crazy person where you need everything perfect, like OLED and stuff. I call them crazy people, but I like it too. But you get the idea. This will be good enough. I mean, there's going to, obviously, it's not like I said, not the best rated TV as far as that's out there. But for 86 inches at under $800, I mean, life is good, right? So you got to admit that's a good TV for what it is, for the cost. All right, next TV over here. Believe it or not, Panasonic's making TVs now again, and they're actually highly rated. So here we go. Panasonic W95 series. This is the last year's model. Again, big TV, 85 inches, huge 85-inch TV, 67% off, $999.7, under $1,000 roughly. You can see it used to be almost $3,000 here. How is that? I mean, how could it almost be $3,000? Who knows? But that's crazy for an 85-inch TV. Now you're going to say, well, is this TV any good? Is Panasonic did they lose all their mojo from before? Well, here we go. Our things right here. Here's the exact model. Again, 7.5 is a really high score on this site. It's one of that, you don't usually get into the 8s, trust me. It's usually in the high 7s, and those are the best TVs. It excels at everything here. So that Panasonic there, is actually a really good panel, and you can't complain with it. So, but let's just keep moving. We got some other products coming up here that are not TVs. The next one over here, look at this. Now I'm just showing this to you because it's not usually on sale on Amazon, but this is going to be the M4 Pro, kind of the base model. 24 gigs, 512 gigabyte SSD. It's $1249 right now, 11% off, usually around $1,400. They rarely put this one on sale, at least this much, at least on Amazon. You can find it some other places sometimes, but not so much on Amazon. So one other thing here, I just did a video, my last video. I'm going to put up the picture here. Take a look at that. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to grab this. So really quickly, I just want to showcase this. Nobody really, I'm a Mac channel, and I put this on here because I like this product a little bit, and, it doesn't get as many views as I wanted. So I wanted it's not really on a huge sale right now, but I wanted to showcase it again. If you're looking for a good power bank battery or like a backup battery that's got to have lights and stuff on it, it's actually got an awesome lamp here. Check out that video. It's got all the details on this thing. And if you look at my screen right over here, you can see it's $199. It doesn't look like it's on sale, but it does have a 10% coupon off right now. So that's going to be about $180 only for a 300 watt, or it's 296 watt hour solar generator, kind of a portable battery. But check out that video. It's a really interesting product, and it doesn't get a lot of traction unless I kind of push it. But I thought it was a good video as far as this product is pretty cool. Okay, next we got some Mac products, and then we're going to go back to some miscellaneous products for sure. Now, this is from Micro Center. I'm going to show you a couple from Micro Center really quickly. A lot of people say, well, we don't have them near us. We can't get to them. They're not all over the United States. Now, listen, some person told me, and I know this for a fact. I just never mentioned it, but they reminded me that you can actually use this to price match at Best Buy if you have a Best Buy near you. So keep an eye here. So if you can get these costs here, go to Best Buy, they'll match it if you can't get to the actual Micro Center. So take a look over here. I thought this is some pretty good deals here. So what do we have here? This is the 13-inch MacBook Air here, and we got the M4 chip, but 24 gigs, 512. So we got upgraded RAM, upgraded SSD here with 512 gigabyte SSD, $1,189. Save $210. Granted, you can get obviously the other one, the base level for about $8 something, but it's still hard to find these ones with these kind of weird configurations, especially on sale like this. You usually have to buy them through Apple, and they're not on sale there. That's the first one. The next one here is one of the best deals. You should just pick this up. I mean, this is going to be the 14-inch MacBook Pro, and it's going to be, again, M4 chip, 16 gigs, 512. So it's the base level M4 Pro chip. It's the MacBook Pro with the M4 chip, not the M4 Pro chip. So it's kind of the base level. But still, $240 off right now, $1,359, usually $1,600. That's a good price. I mean, they're all around this price with tariffs and stuff, and everyone's complaining about that. They've hovered around here. These are some good sales. Here's the other one. This is the MacBook Pro again, but this has got the, let's just get down here. It's got the M4 Pro chip. So this is the one with the M4 Pro chip, 24 gigs of RAM and a 512 gigabyte SSD. This is usually $19.99. Now it's $16.99 over here, $300 off. Again, you can match this stuff over at Best Buy if you want. And then finally, for a lot of people that don't want to spend up to like the $1,300 or $1,200 for the M4 Pro chip on the little Mac Mini, just get an M2 Pro chip. It's actually pretty good for video editing and everything else. Here it is right here from Micro Center, and you can see it brand new, 16 gigabyte, 1 terabyte SSD though. I've talked about this before. You get a whole terabyte on this one, $679. Of course, it's the M2 Pro chip, which is probably as fast as the M3 chip at least, maybe even a little faster than that. So for $679 with the terabyte drive, it's going to be a good little editing machine if you're doing some basic YouTube stuff and like anything like that, really, to tell you the truth. So, or even a house computer, that'll be perfect for it, to tell you the truth. Don't worry about getting the M4. It's not worth it to do it. Just get that. And then I think we got just one or two other Mac things here. Here it is from Amazon. This is going to be the 15-inch. I actually like this one, the 15-inch Air right here, the M4 chip, 16 gigs, 256, so the base level. But that's all the way down to $1,079. So it's only 10% off, but still, that's brand new M4 chip, 15-inch MacBook Pro, and you're picking it up for $1,079, which is a pretty good deal overall, I think, right? I mean, you guys post in the comments. What do you think about that? I think it's a good deal. All right, let's keep moving. Now, there's very few monitors out there anymore that are actually a good deal because of the tariffs. Really, to tell you the truth, they've all kind of went crazy. Here's a couple ones on sale right now. Here's a Samsung 32-inch. This is going to be the UJ59 series. So it is 4K here. You can see the resolution here. And it'll work with your Mac or your Windows PC. 20% off right now. Usually $340. It's $273. So not a bad deal here. Not a bad cost for a 4K, a big 4K at 32 inches. Obviously, you're not going to see too many 32 inches at that cost, especially 4K right now. All right, the next one, we got a fun product here. I actually had used this one a while ago. One of my friends had it. worked actually really good. So I can talk on it. I just don't have it here to show you right now. But take a look at this. This is night vision goggles, 5K night vision. They're not 5K, 5,000 milliamp, whatever you want to call it, battery in it. But they're down to 89 bucks. They're usually 140 bucks. But I think for $89, it's a steal just to kind of fool around with. And you can see them. So 4.5 out of 5 on the rating here as well, 36% off. So it's a really big sale. And you can see in here, like, it's obviously going to say you can, like, I don't know if you want to be that close to a bear, right? Let me just scroll down here if I can get to the very bottom of this thing. So in here, you can see everyone's ratings in here. Like, they all love the thing. If you read through the, it says easy to use, impressive night vision. They work great. I mean, all this kind of stuff. You're going to get pictures in, total darkness. Let's see if I can find one in here. I mean, you're going to get pictures like kind of like this, but it's going to be total darkness where you can't see anything, and then you can actually see people out there. And it's actually not bad because, I mean, overall, it's not going to be perfectly crisp like you'll see maybe military grade. But I mean, if you're just out, somewhere where you need to see if there's people coming or animal coming, this will do the job for you just fine. And it's under now 90 bucks, right? All right, next one here is going to be Sony again, my favorite. Now, Tozo, T-O-Z-O, that's my favorite cheap headphones, but Sony are my favorite more expensive headphones. But here's a cheap Sony right here. So this is going to be the Sony WH-CH520. I actually owned these quite a while ago. And these are going to be Bluetooth also. And look at this nice blue color. They're down at 38 bucks. Usually 60 bucks, now $38. I mean, 37% off. How could you go wrong there? Look at that cost right now. It does come in like obviously white and pink, kind of a tan color, even a yellow color. Look at that yellow, black. So you get all the different colors in there. 38 bucks, I mean, you can't go wrong, right? Right? Now, if you're not a Mac, I mean, I'm a Mac channel really, but if you're not a Mac fan, we got some Windows PCs and stuff. Here's actually a Microsoft Surface laptop. This is going to obviously be the one everyone was talking about, 2024 version though. Comes with Windows 11 Copilot Plus PC, almost a 14-inch screen, but it's got the Snapdragon X Plus, 16 gigs, 256. It's all the way down to $789 right now, 21% off, usually $1,000. So if you need a Windows computer, even if you're a Mac lover, this one might not actually be a bad idea just to pick it up. You're going to get a good deal on that. All right, so on my channel, I do a lot of SSD enclosure testing and Thunderbolt 5 enclosures and stuff. They're starting to slowly come down. Here's one. I can't even say how to, I'm not even going to yo-yo. I have yo-yo. Who knows how to say this. $234 though for a Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, up to 8 terabytes. We've tested this on my channel, not this exact one, but it's basically made by, I think, the same company, right? Looks exactly the same. I'm going to show you the next one here in a second. But $234, it's 22% off right now. Usually they were around 300 bucks before, so they were really expensive. They're slowly creeping down. The one that I wanted to show you is right here. So this is the one I have sitting right here. This is the one I tested on my channel, so you can check out that video as well. Search for the Acasis on my channel. This should come up. You'll see that one right there. Here is on my screen though. This is almost the exact same. Look at it. It looks exactly the same. $239, just a little bit more, but you got the good Acasis name behind it at least. Maybe better support. I'm not sure. And Thunderbolt 5. I was able to show that you're able to get somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 megabytes per second when you have a fast enough SSD in here. I used, I think, what did I use? The Samsung 990 Evo Plus drive, I think I threw in there, and I was getting between 5,000 and 6,000 megabytes per second. Pretty crazy on that enclosure. So definitely check that out. It's on, that dropped. I mean, it was like a lot more before, like 60 bucks more, so it's slowly coming down. A good SSD drive, maybe for that. I haven't tested this one for that, but this is actually a great SSD drive. I've talked about Lexar before as far as their kind of SSD drives, but not this specific model. So take a look over here. This is the Lexar 4 terabyte. This is a different model, NQ780 SSD right here. So it's up to about 7,000 or 6,000 megabytes per second read and write. You can see the picture there. It's down at $239, so 17% off, usually $289, and that's 4 full terabytes. That's a fair cost for 4 terabytes right now. The SSDs kind of went up a little bit, and they're all over the place, but they're a little bit higher than usual right now. So that's a good deal if you're looking for a 4 terabyte one. So can't go wrong there. Now, if you're a Mac lover, you love the kind of the aesthetics of Macs and stuff like the one sitting over here, and you want some nice white kind of monitor speakers for yourself on your desk and stuff to look really cool, here's a good one. This is a great brand, Edifer. This is the M60. They're never on sale a lot, so this is 159 bucks. You can see here, limited time. They even say limited time, but it's only 11% off. But still, 159 bucks right now. And you can see you can see them in here. They're actually really attractive, really good speakers with Bluetooth as well. And you just can't go wrong with them. Bluetooth 5.3. So these are actually great for your Mac or great for video editing. If you want to hear, don't always want to wear headphones and stuff. Those are going to be good speakers for you. Okay. We know we just talked about this thing for almost over 200 bucks, Thunderbolt 5. Well, if you want Thunderbolt 4, those things just keep dropping like a rock, and you're still going to get 2,800 to 3,000 megabytes per second with the right drive in there. So let's just pick this one up, a cases right here, 40 gigabit per second, M.2 here. This is just the case, obviously, not the drive. Thunderbolt 4, though, it's down to 56 bucks, another 10% off. It was already down pretty much, a lot. Now it's down to $56. These usually were 120 like about a year ago. Now they're just less than half of that, basically. And that's a good deal there, I think, overall. You're not going to find a better, probably, deal than that overall. At least I think so. All right. Cables now, Thunderbolt 5 cables. Let's say you're looking for them. Apple's obviously probably going to be the best, right? 60, 70 bucks for that. And one I like, actually, there's two other ones I like. This one I like right here. Let me just show you. AOHI, I don't know how to say that as well. I'm not going to attempt it. But I actually did. I can't reach it, but it's sitting over there. I've done a couple of videos on their products. I like their products are high quality. And this one I like because it's really an attractive Thunderbolt 5 cable if you like this aesthetic look of it. It's just kind of like it's obviously yellow. Let me see if I can find it. And there's not really a good picture. You get it right there. So you're going to say, well, that's kind of expensive. Well, it's got a $10 coupon, so it's only going to be 39 bucks right now. So you get, $39 for a Thunderbolt 5 cable is actually a really good cost compared to, it's half the price of Apple's right now. And this is a good company, trust me. And it's going to be this kind of cool yellow color. If you want something aesthetically pleasing on your desk when you're doing, let's say you're doing a video, you want something to pop, this is the one. It's made out of like a rubber too, really thick rubber. It works really well. So check this out. I think that company makes really good products. If you want kind of the cheapest Thunderbolt 5 cable that I would actually trust, and you just want to you don't care what it looks like, you don't need anything aesthetically pleasing, right over here. OWC, it's only like a 1 foot cable, basically, 0.3, that's the thing, 0.3 meters. But it's a Thunderbolt 5 cable. It's only $19.99, 13% off right now. So it didn't come down much, but you can see the difference here. It's going to be a good cable. That's a good cable for the cost. I mean, you're under $20 now, right? Now it's going to be a short one, obviously, so you got to deal with that. That's going to be the one caveat there. All right, let's talk about some basic storage. I always on my channel tend to use 2.5-inch SSD drives for some storage and stuff like that, for short-term storage, not long-term. I'll archive it somewhere else because they're cheap and they don't get hot and they don't use a lot of energy like some of the M.2 drives. So I still use them and people sometimes don't. But here we go. This is a good deal. This is the Patriot. I have a couple of these P210 512 gigabytes. Half a terabyte for less than 30 bucks right now. It's 11% off. You can buy them in packs. Look at this. You can buy 10 packs of 128 gigs for $100. I mean, you can get all these different packs of them. And I just kind of like use them for different projects and store things on them temporarily. Then I'll move whatever I want to save off to an archive, like a spinning drive, because these, obviously you don't want to store like 10 years on an SSD drive. Overall, though, I think they work great. So I would pick that up as well. If you want some good storage for your Macs, especially for your Macs and your PCs, and you want it fairly fast, and you want a lot of it, here's a good deal here. This is one of the lower costs I've seen. SanDisk, this is a 4 terabyte extreme portable SSD here. So 4 terabytes. You're going to get around 1,000 megabytes per second, up and down. It's probably 10 gigabit per second throughput. But about 1,000 megabytes per second you can expect on this. $279 right now, so it's 21% off, usually $354. Amazon choice, 4.6 out of 5. It's not going to be the fastest, but 4 terabytes for that. If you figure like a 4 terabyte drive right now is like $250, $240, and you're getting the enclosure basically for free here. You don't get the, you can't change it out and stuff like that. But I mean, some people just want to have it very easy and have it work, right? So that's what they want to pick up. All right. Let's say you want to build a Windows PC. Maybe you're one of those people for sure. No problem with that. I've done it many times. We got some good processors over here. Here's the AMD Ryzen 7 5800 XT right now, 155 bucks. 38% off, down from $249, so almost 40% off on this chip right here. This is a great mid-range chip here. I mean, it's comparable to like an M3 or something like that. Very, very good chip. But if you want even more power, here we go. The AMD Ryzen 9 9900X. Look at this, 12-core, 24-thread, $239. Look at this deal, 52% off, $499 down, all the way down to $239. Look at that. That's crazy. So, I mean, an AMD Ryzen 9 for less than 240 bucks. That's the chip you want if you're a big gamer. You want a lot of power, maybe video editing and stuff like that. That's going to be a great chip for you if you load it up correctly. Now, if you're one of those people that want just the fastest of everything, you have to have the best. It's going to cost you right over here. Here's a Samsung SSD, the 9100 Pro. Very, very uncommon. It hasn't been out for a while. 4 terabyte right here. But look at this. It's almost five. It's the first time it's ever been on sale. Really, 15% off, down from $569. It's $482 for only 4 terabytes. That's a lot of money. But why? 14,800 megabytes per second. If you have Thunderbolt 5, Usually this is made for inside of your computer, because if you do it on an external SSD drive, you're not going to get this speed. You really have to have it connected internally, like in a Windows computer or something like that. You're going to get super fast speeds even on a Mac with an external Thunderbolt 5 enclosure, but nothing like 14,000. But internally in a Windows computer, you're probably going to get that. So depending on your rig and stuff. So we'll figure that out. But anyways, now if you're cheap like me and you want the cheapest thing possible, not always, but you get the idea, that still works because I've tested these. Here we go. Silicon Power 2 terabyte UD90, very, very true and tested, 4.5 out of 5. $105 for 2 terabytes. That's one of the cheapest 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe PCI 4 drives right now. So that's cheap. It's good. It'll work for you. All right. We got some monitors now. Now, I know everyone wants 4K. If you're a Mac person, everyone worries about scaling issues and stuff. So if you just get 1440p, if you don't care too much, if you're not like a pixel peeper and stuff, these are great monitors right here. So Dell, this is the S2725DS, and 27-inch. You can see 2560 by 1440, so definitely way higher than just 1080p. But 100 refresh rate, 100 hertz refresh rate. $189, so down from $220, $189, 4.5. That's going to scale perfectly with your Mac. That's in the scale range, so you don't have to worry about any scaling issues with text and stuff. You want to amp up your router now because obviously speeds are getting faster. You need maybe Wi-Fi 6, not so much Wi-Fi 7 yet, but you're ready to go up to 6. Maybe have a slower one. Here we go. TP-Link AX1800 Wi-Fi 6 router. $58, 42% off, even more than last time, $99 usually. Huge deal there. So that's a good deal on a Thunder 6 router. So you're definitely going to get some more speed on your throughput in your house and stuff like that. So definitely check that out if you're thinking for you want to get the most out of your internet provider. All right, we got some mini PCs now. I love just fooling with mini PCs. I'm a Mac. I have tons of Mac. I love Macs, but I love the little mini PCs, and I do stuff with them just to kind of dabble, because obviously you can tinker more sometimes with Windows. So here we go. B-Link EQR6 mini PC. Look at this. Ryzen 5 6600U, right? 24 gigs of RAM, awesome. 500 gigabyte SSD, really good. AMD 660M is going to be like the graphics. $278. And it's just amazing. So like in here, you can see in here, you're going to get on the back of it 2 USB-A, those 2 HDMI, another USB-A, 2 LAN ports, which is great. And on the front, you're going to get USB-C, headphone jack, and USB-A again. I mean, pretty crazy for $278 with a Ryzen 5 chip in it, which is already that much. 24 gigs of RAM, you have to add that on. All that stuff added together. I don't think this one comes with the actual the OS though. So if you want something just to kind of like completely dabble in that's going to work, let's say you need let's say you're a Mac user like me, you want one Windows computer just in case, just to have. This is the one you should probably get because it's cheap as dirt and it's got everything you need, trust me. I actually have one sitting up there very similar to this. This is the Ace Magic Vista V1. It's an N97 mini PC. So N97 is the chip right here, and you can look that up. It's going to be fast enough to run most of your stuff for sure. 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabyte SSD. $159, 33% off. So less than $160 with 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigabyte SSD, the computer in general, and the kicker here is you get Windows 11 Pro pre-installed. So think about this, just Windows Pro pre-installed, just Windows Pro by itself is like $130, right? You're getting the computer for like $12, right? So, and now it doesn't have all the ports, it's just got 2 USB-A with the headphone thing in the front. You got HDMI, DP, and 2 USB-As in the back, and a LAN port. Now, you can use the converters to go from USB-A to USB-C. That's what you have to do on this if you have USB-C. But I mean, $159, and it comes with Windows Pro. I mean, come on now. If you want anything cheaper than that, then you're even cheaper than me, which is crazy. So, all right, headphones. This is actually a good company. These are quality headphones for what you're getting here. They're maybe not going to be as good as maybe the Apple brand, but you're paying a lot less, right? So here we go. Soundcore. This is by Anker. This is the P20i. Really good headphones and earbuds, I guess they call them, right? 10 millimeter drivers. Big bass on these. 50% off right now. 50% off. They're usually $40. They're now $19.98. So it's a great burner pair. Maybe you go to the health club or something. You don't want to ruin your Apple ones. Looks like the Apple ones. You can get them in different colors down there, blue and pink and everything. But white looks really cool there. So I would recommend those. And then let me just see here, Soundcore again. So we got more Soundcore stuff coming up. There are a lot of sales on them right now. Here's the Soundcore Anker Life Q20s, hybrid active noise canceling headphones. You can see 33% off, usually $60, now $39.98. Those are great headphones as well. I mean, look at these, 4.5 right here out of 5. and what is it, 86,000 of them have been ordered or something crazy. So people must like those, right? They have to like them. The next one here is another sale that we talked about last time I did this. It's still on sale. This is a phone you have to consider. Whether you like Apple or not, you have to consider this phone right here, Google Pixel 9. This is not the 9A, it's the 9, right? It's the one that's kind of the more advanced one, unlocked Android smartphone. 128 gigs, $599, so it's a big $200 off, 25% off right now. So if you're anywhere on the Android side, it's not the 9A, it's the better one. It's the 9 for $599. You can't beat that, right? You cannot beat that cost right now. So, all right, I'm losing it, but we got only a few more here. So if you're a biker, you like to bike somewhere, this is kind of tech. You guys tell me, is this classified as tech? I don't know. I threw it in there anyway. So your tire goes flat. Well, here's an awesome thing, and I actually have one like this. It's not this exact brand, but I saw this one, and I might pick this up because I do bike. Right over here. This is the HOTO. I'm not going to... Hoto or whatever, mini bike pump though. So you can see here, it's 49 bucks. It's usually $60. And it's just this little teeny bike pump here. And let me just see if I can show you some pictures. It's that small. See it down there? And you carry it with you. Let me just see. It's smaller than your iPhone. Look at that right there. It's way smaller than your iPhone. But you carry that little pump with you when you're biking, and you can go ahead and pump up your tires instantly with that thing. You plug in how much PSI you want, hit the button. It actually goes up to that PSI and stops. And your whole bike is, you're not sitting there pumping for 20 minutes. All right. We talk a lot about Bluetooth speakers. Again, the Tozo one I have over there, I've done some stuff on that. Well, here's another one. If you like the old boom boxes, but you want really good loud sound, here's a good brand actually. I actually heard this at a show I went to. It's phenomenal sound. So I wanted just to showcase this one. Look over here. This one's actually by, they make them by all different companies. It's called the Zallee store, so Zali. And this is going to be IPX7 waterproof Bluetooth speaker, but it's 60 watt peak. Look at this thing. So it looks like a traditional boombox, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speakers in it, and you just can't go wrong with it. I mean, it's basically going to give you a really good sound here, and it looks like a little mini boombox. But look, it's 41% off right now. Usually $100. And it's $59. Comes in some other colors and stuff. I mean, not that I would care about that, but I've actually heard this. I went to a show, and like I said, they make these under different manufacturers, and I was actually shocked by the sound of it. So if you like the design and stuff, I think that's a no-brainer for $59, and you can't go wrong. Okay, the next one is not really tech, but it's a good deal. So if you use a lot of AAA batteries, right now on their little Memorial Day sale, limited time deal, 40% off on Quantum AAA batteries. I use it all the time. You can see them in Duracell though, Optimum right there. So $21, usually $36 for a 24 pack. So obviously if you walk into like Home Depot and you want a 4-pack, it's going to cost you like $6 or $7 for this brand, that specific one. So $21 for 24 of them is a really good deal there. Just wanted to throw that one in there. Tablets. You guys like tablets? I obviously showed you the the iPad, and that's what I usually use. But if you're on the Samsung kind of realm here, here's a Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 right here. The light version, obviously, 64 gigs. And let me just see. It doesn't say much about it, but it's an exclusive, they say, but it's about a year old. But $199 right now, 25% off. Does come with the pen. And it's $264 normally, $199. So pretty good sale there. And like I said, if you want a kind of a cheap tablet, that's actually a really good one. My only complaint there is 64 gigs. It would be nice to have 128, but for that cost, you can't go wrong. I mean, I think you should get away with 64. TVs now. I thought this was a phenomenal deal again because it's a little bit bigger than the last week's one I did. And if you want a good TV, again, for kids or for a garage or for your basement, you don't use it that often, here's the one to get. It's an Amazon Fire TV right here, 40-inch, so good sweet spot maybe for a bedroom. It comes with the Amazon Fire as well. $179 right now. You can see here, 28% off, usually $250. 4.4 out of 5. A lot of people like that TV as well. $179, who would have ever thought? The next product, I just talked about that power bank I showed you earlier in the video. Here's a couple new ones. DJI, great name, Power 1000 portable power station. 1,024 watt hours here. Life PO4 battery. $449. So you can see it's 55% off. It's usually probably not 55% off. They're claiming $1,000 down to $449. It's usually like 5 something, but still a really good deal here for a good name, DJI Power. This is good for your drones when you're moving around, anything like that. That'll be perfect for. But if you want to go bigger, house emergency, refrigerator, TV, all that kind of stuff, heavy refrigerator for maybe 2 days running on this. Here we go. Blue Yeti solar generator, the Elite 2000. This one's going to be over 2,000 watt hours, so 2,073 watt hours here, up to 2,600 watt hour or watts peak here as far as the peak here. Actually, it says 3,900 watt power lifting. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe on the outlets there. 17-year lifespan. $8.99, down 47%, usually is $1,700. So that's going to be big enough to power like a lot of stuff. I mean, if you don't use your fridge on it, it could power everything else in your house basically. And you could plug a TV into there for a while, your computers, everything. That's going to power it just fine for $8.99. It's always good to have such like an emergency thing in there. And at the end of the day, that's a good idea. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you guys like these things on the weekends. If you do watch my channel, I think I'm going to be doing the news soon in a couple days here, so I will get back to the news, I promise you. I just wanted to do the kind of the sales for Memorial Day. And again, thank you for everyone's service out there in America and all over the world. If you're serving your country, it's important to do that. I'm American, so I support all of our troops. So we'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.